Good evening, everybody. Matrix here, and here's my watch list for June 18th. Okay, just gonna get right into it. First up, we have AMD. Just gonna load up some drawings real quick here on AMD. Um, AMD today, I played for the long at the open, and then eventually I swapped bias and shorted it. What I want to note about AMD is this 5-6 day downtrend that it's been following. Today, when I played it long, let's take a look here. Yeah, this was today. So let's do a quick recap here. I basically took note of this $30 area. Okay, so I waited for the dip. It came down into the 30, and then it started showing signs of buyers coming in. Now, the 30 area was a key level that we were watching on the daily chart here. So once I saw this this candle got sucked up with the massive volume, I got in right away. I had the average of about $30.06. I rolled it up. I sold it out at 30.35. From there, I wanted to see and wait and see what it does. It came back down, and then it tested here. It held a double bottom. So from the double bottom, I added back in a little bit of shares, came back up to the VWAP here, and I sold some of it here at the 30.24 area. And from here, when it dropped out, when it dropped out on this wick right here, I took it off, and I was watching for a short. Now let's go to the 1 minute chart to show you what I saw real quick. So 1 minute chart from today, I'm going to expand it up. Now what I noticed was, let's see if I can zoom in here a little bit. Okay. Okay, so I got long around here, rode it off all the way up here. From here, I took some long here to add back in, rolled it back up, sold some. This hard pull came down, and from here, I believe I took it off here. Anyways, what my point is, why did I switch bias? Is by the time it came here, oh yeah. By the time it came here where I took off some, I added some around this area, I took off some. By the time it came here, I was looking for it to hold the VWAP and the 50, okay? I saw a double bottom right here and here. And then I was thinking, okay, if this is strong, it's supposed to hold around VWAP and then make another run for it, but it didn't. It failed the VWAP right here. Here, it came back up and tested this 50 MA, and then eventually it kind of like fell off the bottom right here at 30.15, right? And what I noticed is that these wicks over here, this 1 minute wicks, the 50 EMA was holding it down, okay? Right here as well, the 50 EMA and the VWAP. And then I was looking at this lower high, and I'm thinking, okay, if this stock was supposed to be strong today, first of all, it was supposed to run up. It was supposed to consolidate from this area, this little range here, and then continue making higher lows since it reclaimed VWAP. However, it didn't. It failed the VWAP once again. We did make a higher high from this point of the bounce, right? We did make a higher high, right? But then it failed. It didn't do what I wanted to do, so I was pretty cautious. Once it broke this 30.15 area, I was thinking, okay, well, why is it not running, right? Why is it not holding above VWAP? It's already 10:30, and then I noticed basically this lower highs from the morning pops here, right? And then I also noticed that it got rejected at the 50 EMA and at the 50 EMA here as well. So by the time I got out of my long position, I was here thinking, okay, maybe this is not a long, so I'll just get short. Now it was at, let me check the time real quick here. Let me see. I shorted right here at 10:58. Okay, so 10:58. yeah, 10:58 a.m. I shorted it. Let's come in. Where's 10:58? Right here in this candle. That's where I shorted. Okay. And I was thinking, okay, since it's no longer holding this bottom, that holding this range, that we have this little double bottom, triple bottom right here, as you can see, 1, 2, 3. I was gonna get short, and it was very apparent to me that my perfect risk point was the 50 EMA. Okay, so basically, somewhere around here was my risk, because from prior before it tapped out the 50 here, here, and it failed the VWAP. So I got in short right here at 10:58, and the average was 30.09. Okay, so I gave it to 30.17 was my stop, and from there I just rolled it down, and as you can see, it worked out pretty nicely. Okay, so that's basically my trade recap. I mean, uh, initially the long worked well, but it failed from here at yesterday's close, and then it just sold off. Now coming here, we can see from yesterday, it topped out at this 30.50 level, so that also made sense to me that it was still gonna sell off on the day. And then of course, I drew this downtrend line, and this downtrend line basically helped guided me, because here you see right here at the open on the 30-minute chart, it just couldn't get past above the 30-minute chart downtrend line for the past 5 to 6 days. Okay, so what to do tomorrow, right? Looking at this right now, it's still holding its downtrend, so it's definitely up to the buyers to prove. To prove that this downtrend and sell-off is over. What I think is that the stock on the daily chart, it does want to come down to this 28.30 area. All right, so I'm going to mark that off real quick. 28.30. Let's see. Okay, so this is the main target in my opinion, and tomorrow I'm looking for a pop and drop. As you can see, it basically tapped this 29.50-ish, 29.60 area today, and failed from there. And then late day, right before the close, we have a market maker's balancing candle, and it topped right out at this 29.50-ish, 60s area. Okay, it's also very near the VWAP. I believe this area is the 20 EMA on the daily chart as well, according to one of our moderators at Trick Trades. So, but I mean, if you take a look here at this 29.60, it's pretty accurate that it makes sense that it topped out here. So I'm looking for a pop and drop. This is my first sign of first resistance area at the 29.60. Okay, and then my second resistance area, I'll be looking for a pop and drop at 29.85, where it basically snapped today. Okay, and from there, I'll be looking for a rollover tomorrow. So looking for a pop and drop, and my target, bring it down to the 28.30s, because it sure looks as hell like that. However, the 29 is going to give it some trouble. So if it starts basing at 29 and starts forming higher lows from there, then you'll know tomorrow is going to be a retracement day, and you can definitely long it. I mean, from 29, if it makes like a tight sideways range and then starts forming higher low, you have pretty tight risk. And I would actually long it back up and anticipate the breakout of this downtrend line, because if this downtrend line does break out, then the stock is going to squeeze. Okay, so that's AMD. Next up, Luckin Coffee, LK. LK, I was looking at why the stock is running today. Now, going through the news and everything, basically Luckin Coffee had analysts chime in on a buy rating here on June 11th. Okay, so Needham calls for a buy target $27. We have Morgan Stanley calling for an equal weight, so that's actually a good rating. KeyBank Capital Markets calls it overweight and targets 22, and then Credit Suisse came out and initiated a $24 target as an outperform as well. So overall, why did this stock pop? Okay, very simple. We have a trend break. Okay, we have a trend break for the past few days, ever since the analysts initiated on this ticker. Basically, the stock was holding a very key support area and making higher lows, right? And then we have this trend break. Right now, tomorrow, I'll be looking for top out at around the 2250 area, which is, if I zoom out, right around here. Okay, 2230. Okay, so the way the stock closed, it closed actually pretty strong and gapping up after hours. So I'm expecting it to gap up and gap up to 22 and then pop and then short it for profit take. And how far will it go? I don't think it's going to lose all its gains because the stock is so strong and because of the fundamentals that the analysts are coming in with it, right? So the average true range of the stock is $1.90, $1.95. So I mean, 22 to $1. I'll be watching this area, this 2150 again, or 21 again. Okay. Yeah, 21 is good. So if I'm going to short it, if I nail the short, then my first target is $21. Okay. 2150 might be a little key because it's today's close as well, right? The after hours close. So gotta watch that. And from there, we'll see. The stock overall is very overextended. I mean, yes, it's a technical breakout. So a pullback is due, and I do think that tomorrow the range is going to be a little tighter than its average true range. It might consolidate around the highs. I'm just very convicted on this pullback if it reaches this double top area, and I'll just take it for however much it'll give me. It'll probably give me $1, if not 70 cents from it. I mean, so that's pretty easy money from there. And then from there, if it sells off, then even better. But I really don't know, right? I just know that the stock is overextended and it's due for a pullback, and the gap up and opening sell off would be nice. As far as support goes, I mean, this 21 area is very key support here. 2050, maybe. I don't know if it can come back down so low. The 50 MA on the 5-minute chart is catching up. However, on the 30-minute chart, it's got a nice trend to it, right? It might come all the way back up tomorrow if it keeps popping. I mean, this trend line should probably extend to around the 2050 area. So I guess this kind of makes sense as well. Okay, just pay attention to this candle here, the 330 candle, a lot of volume coming in. So the highs, the lows, and use that as some sort of a guide. So that's luck and coffee. LULU. LULU is interesting. We have an earnings winner. LULU, every time it announces earnings and announce good earnings, it takes a few days to consolidate and then run, right? Right here on this big red bar, this is when they announce earnings. It gapped up huge and it filled the gap. And then the next day, it found some sort of support and the buy point, and then it started shooting up. And today, we had a little dip and run. What I want to talk about is this 180 area, which it took a lot of time to get through, and it finally got through, right? So prior resistance now becomes support. It's now a very psychological whole number as well. And along with the 180, we have the 181, which is today's morning highs, which it got above, tested, and it kept running. And then over here, the next support area, I believe I would look for 182, as there is a phantom tick over here. Let me show you real quick. Move this line. There's a phantom tick over here after hours. Okay. And 182 is also very key on the daily chart. Coming over here, it's the opening price of this red candle. Okay, so that's 182. So I'm looking for a dip and rip here on Lulu for it to continue. I mean, I know it's a little bit overextended. Um, it's reaching a key level of 185 right now, and this thing is going for its all-time high still. So it's very hard to short a stock on all-time highs. I mean, if it starts topping out around the 185, then yeah, go ahead and take a short for a pullback for a few dollars. But I really think because this is a breakout of the 182 that it will hold 182 here. Looking at the 330 candle, the lows, we also have 183 as well. So let's mark off 183, which is around here, right? Late day, we have some support buying here, and eventually it's still held. So it didn't test it with conviction yet. I want to mention this massive volume bar here on the 5-minute chart where we had insane volume. So the top of this volume, 182.50. You know what? I'll actually mark it down to 182.50. We'll see. Okay. So looking for a dip and rip here, with 180, 181 being my key support area. We have today's VWAP around the 181.50, so it should give a few points, and if it does break the all-time highs, it's going to run, and it does look like it wants. The next target would be 190, right? So that's Lulu. Facebook is interesting. I mean, we had a very massive run today on Facebook. It came out with news about people are very bullish on it, thinking about their launch of their cryptocurrency a little bit sometime in the near future, right? What I'm looking at right now, I mean, if I'm going to identify some support areas right here, we were trading at the high of this range here, and the stock did break past it. So this is the 189 area. Okay, 189. Let's mark it off right about here. Okay, 189. Looking at the 330 candle where we had massive volume coming down and then a reclaim, and then after hours buy. 188 is more, 188.25, better support area. So anywhere from 188 to 189. From the way it's going, it looks like it's going to gap up. So let's mark off some resistance. I'm looking at some key volume here on the daily chart. On this low, this is 192.12, right? So it's definitely going to test here. We'll have to see what it does, because it's basically right underneath it right now. And then on the closing price is 193.25. Now, I know the stock is a little bit overextended, and a lot of people are looking to short this right now. I don't mind the short idea because the stock is so overextended. I just don't want to get in early on this play because I know a lot of people will be trying to get in on the front side here. I would like to see it top out, hold some sort of range, and like roll over. What I want to see is, if I zoom out a little bit, is something along the lines of this, right? A rollover, stock unable to make higher lows, right? And then it comes back up and rejects around the middle of this range right here. I mean, if I'm gonna mark this off real quick, this is the type of action that I want to see tomorrow. Okay, I want to see it make a push for it, top out, and then do something like this, and then it snaps down, and then retrace, and then eventually hit something like this, and then just roll over. That would make a lower high for me, and I'll just short it from this area if it rejects, okay? Or if it comes up double top and then fails again, then I'll short it. Yeah, that's basically it on Facebook. Looking for a short play if it runs. 195, pretty key here. Let me see here. Volume on 195. No, I think it actually could run one more day. I mean, if all these shorts are looking to short it, then they're gonna trap and squeeze this thing to all hell, right? So we'll see. I mean, if it holds support, it's still a long, right? It's up to the sellers to prove that the run is over, right? And they really have to prove that to me. So Facebook, and yeah, basically that's it. 4 tickers: AMD, Facebook, Luckin Coffee, and Lulu. I'll see you guys all bright and early tomorrow, and have a great evening. Ciao.